So you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man.
Next one, Plato.
Yes, I am. I'm the man. I'm the man. I'm the man.
Good morning, sir. I'm glad that you decided to participate in our interview.
Yes, thank you very much. I would gladly like to get this job, so I hope this job interview will go well.
I really hope for the same. So to start with today's topic, can you tell us probably a bit about yourself, maybe about your childhood, etc.?
So it's still not very well known what year I was born, but it is believed between 428 and 423 before Christ. I was born into an aristocratic family in Athens, Greece, and I was very well educated. I was taught mathematics, music, and gymnastics.
Yeah, typical for an Athenian aristocracy.
So when I was young, I encountered the works of philosophers Cratylus and Heraclitus, and they influenced my early philosophical thinking. But then my life significantly turned when I became a student of Socrates.
Oh yeah, the guy with the method of questioning. Yeah, I heard about him.
It really shaped my philosophical development, and you should know I was deeply affected by his trial and execution in 399 before Christ. Then I went traveling. Egypt and other Mediterranean regions. That additionally exposed me to diverse cultural influences. And yes, later I served in the Athenian military during the Peloponnesian War, tried to gain further life experience beyond philosophy. After that, I founded the Academy in Athens, a pioneering institution of higher learning.
Wow, that is a briefly given resume. And what about your famous works? Can you probably tell us something about how you have written them and what are they actually about?
Certainly. I wrote so many works. I recorded the most significant accounts of Socrates' life and philosophy, just walking around and prescribing his famous ideas.
Yeah, but can you talk about like someone else? I mean, we might have him also on this interview someday.
Yeah, I understand. So after Socrates, I decided to write down the Symposium, Phaedrus, Meno, Apology, Crito, Phaedo, Timaeus, Laws.
Okay, not to go that far. What if we talk about your best work?
Well, like this, my best work is probably considered The Republic. It is a dialogue that primarily features my teacher, Socrates, who engages in a discussion with various interlocutors about the nature of justice, the ideal state, and the human soul.
So it's again you and Socrates.
Yes, it was me and Socrates. But there were also different students as well, and like this, we talked about different aspects of life. The key points of this work probably include my theory of justice, the allegory of the cave, the triorate soul, forms and ideas. Oh yeah, and I also criticize democracy.
Glad that you actually mentioned that, because my next question would have been about your key philosophical ideas. So, if you may continue.
Yes, gladly. So, as I said, I hate democracy. It leads to a chaotic and unjust society. This is the problem with justice, as I think justice is best understood when applied to the structure of an ideal society. I prefer a more authoritarian, meritocratic system. My idea of the philosopher king tells us that the ideal society should be governed by such philosopher kings, with the wisdom and knowledge to lead justly, and education in producing such rulers is very important. And in such an ideal republic, although it was a huge radical departure from the norms of that time, I have a strong emphasis on communal ownership of property, including families and children among the guardian class.
May I just interrupt? Just out of curiosity, I spotted there are a lot of statues with you portraited on them. So may I ask you something? Are you a fan of art and poetry?
Oh, definitely no. I often express skepticism about the impact of art and poetry. You see, what they do is arouse irrational emotions and distract from philosophical truth. I would rather favor rational discourse as a means of moral and intellectual development, though not sure how love goes into this. We should explore its nature and particularly eros deeper and really investigate the essence from physical attraction to higher intellectual and spiritual forms of love. Because I see it as a transformative force.
Thank you on that. Speaking of which, how about some other metaphysical ideas that you may suggest us?
Yes, so a human has a tripartite soul. The human soul is composed of three parts: reason, spirit, and appetite. Each part has its own function and desires, and an ideal individual balances these aspects. And that's important because our soul is in fact immortal. It's eternal and exists before and after our physical life. Also, I always count in the existence of abstract, unchanging forms or ideas. They are the true reality behind the imperfect physical world. This concept actually plays a central role in my philosophy. Those non-material forms are eternal, unchanging, and the source of all things. And to add to this, I really much engaged into epistemology, talking about knowledge as justified true belief, contributing significantly to discussions in the theory of knowledge.
Also on your resume, I spotted that you talked about some cave of yours. Can you probably explain it a little bit better?
Oh yes, my famous cave theory. Yes, I present it in my philosophical work, The Republic. It's about a group of prisoners who have been held captive in a dark cave since birth, facing a wall. They can only see the shadows of objects that are projected onto the cave wall by a fire behind them. These shadows are their only reality as they have never seen the outside world. I use this cave allegory to illustrate my theory of forms or ideas. The physical world we perceive with our senses is like the shadows on the cave wall, representing the imperfect and changing realm. True reality exists in the world of forms, which are abstract, eternal, and unchanging concepts. The philosopher's journey, as depicted in the allegory, involves breaking free from the cave, encountering the blinding light of the sun, which symbolizes the world of forms, and gains knowledge of the higher truths.
Yeah, that is actually a huge theory. I bet it hugely impacts the future of philosophy, which, by the way, leads us to our last question: your influence on the future of philosophy. Can you tell us how your ideas and what your works have done for it?
I tend to describe my influence as profound and enduring. My ideas and methodologies have shaped the course of Western thought in numerous ways. The metaphysical theories I've mentioned before have become foundational elements of Western philosophy, influencing subsequent thinkers from Aristotle to contemporary philosophers. My contributions to epistemology laid the groundwork for ongoing discussions about the nature of knowledge and belief. The exploration of virtue, justice, and the nature of good life set the stage for millennia of ethical philosophy and discussions about morality. The ideas on governance, philosopher kings, and the ideal state still, to this day, continue to shape discussions on political theory, utopianism, and the role of leaders in society. Scholars and philosophers throughout history have engaged in the interpretation and reinterpretation of my works, which resulted into a rich tradition of commentary and analysis that keep my ideas alive and relevant. Also, take the periods of Renaissance and Enlightenment. In essence, my enduring influence on philosophy is marked by my profound contributions to a wide range of philosophical domains. The development of enduring philosophical questions and the role as a foundational figure in the history of Western thought, the ideas I suggested remain a vibrant and essential part of philosophical discourse even today.
Thank you. That was a great job interview. Do you have any additional questions probably left?
Well, when you were saying you will call Socrates, you were joking, right?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. So guys, this was yet another philosopher who was interviewed for our philosopher position. I really hope that you enjoyed this format of kind of talking about philosophers yet not being too general, making it as everyone else And yeah, comment below what would you fix, comment below what would you add, comment below what you think. Honestly, I love reading your comments. I believe they push the channel forward, and I really want to keep pushing this channel forward. So don't stop. I really appreciate your support. Don't forget that this is a YouTube channel, so it's really important if you like this video or dislike this video. But again, explain all this, why you do it, in the comments. And also subscribe to it. If you haven't watched the first video with Jean-Jacques Rousseau interviewing for this job, you can find it in the pinned comment. Also, I will leave the link in the end. This was Zeno77 and our today's guest, or should I call him applicant, Plato. Really hope you enjoyed it, and see you soon.